Hello guys, and welcome to this video on differentiation. And in this video I'll be taking you through the power rule of differentiation. So if I have y is equal to x to the power of n, how do I differentiate by the power rule? Simply, to find dy dx, dy all over the x using the power rule is going to be, all you need to do is use the power n to multiply the variable x, then you subtract 1 from that power n. That's all. So if I do that, I'm going to be having, simply use the power n to multiply what? The variable x, then subtract 1 from the power. So I have n minus 1. That becomes your derivative. Now let's see how this works. Let's say I have y to be equal to x to the power of 3. Now let's do the same thing and see. dy all over the x is going to be equal to what? Remember, use the power. In this case now, power is equal to 3. To multiply the variable x, then you subtract 1 from the power. I'll simply have 3 minus 1. So this is going to be equal to 3 times x. I have x, then to the power I have 3 minus 1. That is simply what? 2. So that means if y is equal to x to the power of 3, then it means the y all over the x simply gives us what? 3x squared. Now let's try this again. Let's say I have y to be equal to x to the power of 5. Now how do I find the y all over the x? This is going to be equal to, maintaining the same power rule, use the power 5 to multiply the variable x, then subtract 1 from the power. So I have 5 minus 1. So this is going to be equal to what? I have 5x to the power of 5 minus 1 is going to be what? 4. So that means when y is simply x to the power of 5, the y dx becomes what? 5x to the power of 4. Now what of situations where you have rational functions? Let's say I have y to be equal to 1 all over x to the power of 2, and you're asked to find dy dx using the power rule. Now the first thing you do is to what? Break this rational function from being a fraction into a power. That means I can also rewrite y to be equal to what? Instead of 1 over x to the power of 2, I can simply write it to be what? X to the power of negative 2 by indices. So x to the power of negative 2. Now I have my equation to be of the same order as I've been treating above. Now this means that I'm going to be having dy all over the x to be equal to, so applying the power rule, use the power. Now mind you, the power in this case becomes what? Minus 2 and not just 2. So you simply use the power minus 2 to multiply the variable x. Now you subtract 1 from the power. Remember, the power still remains what? Minus 2. Now you're removing 1, so simply minus 2 minus 1. So this is going to be equal to what? Minus 2 times x. Now minus 2 minus 1 simply gives us minus 3. And this becomes your answer. You can as well write this to be equal to what? Minus 2 all over x to the power of 3. So when y is equal to x, when y is equal to 1 all over x squared, the y dx is simply going to be what? Minus 2 all over x to the power of 3. Okay, let's try one more example before we call it an end. So let's say y is equal to 1 all over x, and we are asked to find the y dx. Remember, the first thing to do in this case is to what? Convert this fraction into a function of power. That means y is going to be equal to what? X to the power of minus 1 in indices. Now with this, I can simply find dy all over the x to now be equal to, remember, use the power. Power in this case is negative 1 to multiply the variable x. Now you keep back your power, negative 1, then subtract 1 from it, minus 1. That means Negative 1 times x simply gives me what? Negative x to the power of negative 1 minus 1. That simply gives me what? Negative 2. And you have this. Alright guys, so that's the basic overview of the power rule of differentiation. I'm sure you like this video, so do well to comment nicely, share to your friends, and if you're new to the channel, do well to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our subsequent videos when it drops. In the next video, we are going to be looking at product rule of differentiation. I'm sure you want to be a part of that video. Once again, do well to click the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on that video when it drops. I will see you in the next video. Thanks.